There's a phrase almost everyone says. You've said it, I've said it. It's so common. It hides in plain sight. But it's also the exact reason most people never manifest money. That phrase? I want money. Now don't dismiss it just yet. Because what I'm about to tell you might shift your entire relationship with money. Permanently. You see, wanting sounds harmless. It feels honest. I want to be rich. I want to pay off debt. I want freedom. But here's the hidden trap. Every time you say, I want, you're affirming lack. You're not telling the universe you're ready. You're not stepping into abundance. You're actually telling your subconscious and the mirror of reality, I don't have it yet. This is the mistake that even the most spiritual people make for years. And it's the very reason their bank account doesn't change, no matter how many techniques they use. Let me show you something powerful. Imagine someone walking around all day saying, I want to be respected. I want to be loved. I want to be rich. Now pause. What identity is being assumed there? They're speaking from the identity of someone who is not. They're unintentionally reinforcing a version of themselves that is waiting, wishing, hoping, but never receiving. And the law of assumption, the same principle Neville Goddard devoted his entire life to, does not respond to your hopes. It responds to your being. You don't get what you want. You get what you are. So right now, I want you to be radically honest with yourself. Have you been wanting money instead of being someone who already has it? If so, this video is your reset point. Not because I'm giving you another technique, but because we're going to shift your entire state, your inner self-concept, and install the one phrase that changes everything. And don't skip ahead, because this is not about words. It's about energy, assumption, identity, and ultimately, freedom. We're going to reveal the exact phrase you need to say instead of, I want money. And once you feel it, you'll never go back. But not yet. First, I need to take you into the deeper mechanics of why your words have been quietly blocking your wealth. Here's something wild to consider. There are people in the world right now, no smarter, no more spiritual, no more qualified than you, who have money flowing to them effortlessly. And it's not because they hustle harder. It's because, consciously or unconsciously, they assume themselves into abundance. They speak differently. They move differently. They make decisions not from lack, but from the reality they've already chosen to inhabit. So the question isn't, how do I get more money? The real question is, who am I being when I think about money? Are you being someone who chases money, or someone money chases? Quick check-in. Are you feeling this so far? If you are, this is exactly the kind of transformation we bring in every video. So go ahead and subscribe now, not just for more content, but because the shift you want is one decision away. And I want to walk that path with you. Let's go deeper. There's a reason saying, I want money, doesn't just fail. It actually backfires. It puts your entire being in a state of pursuit. And in the universe of assumption, pursuit means postponement. You say, I want money. The universe says, great. You want it. So let's keep you wanting. It mirrors not what you hope for, but the state you're carrying. This is why so many people feel stuck, even after doing affirmations, visualizations, scripting, and techniques. They're doing all the right things, but from the wrong state. Neville said it best. To be conscious of being poor while praying for riches is to be rewarded with that which you are conscious of being. Poverty. Read that again. If your internal identity is I want, you're not ready to receive. You're still becoming, still lacking, still waiting. So here's the goal of this video. We're going to shift you from I want to I already am, from someday to now, from hoping to having. And we'll do it not with hype, but with a calm, grounded understanding of what truly creates wealth, assumption, and being. Because the moment you stop saying I want and start living from I already have, reality begins to conform. Money doesn't take permission, it takes a match. And that match is made when your inner state aligns with your chosen outcome. So, let's go deeper. You've probably been taught your whole life that desire is power, that wanting something, especially badly enough, is what moves mountains. But let's get brutally honest for a second. How long have you been wanting money? And where has that gotten you? This is not judgment. This is the wake-up. Because the longer you stay in want, the longer you stay in lack. When you say, I want money, you're unknowingly shouting, I don't have it. And the universe, like a mirror, reflects that state back to you. Not out of punishment, but because it has no choice. Neville Goddard said it simply, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Why? Because assumption collapses time. It moves you from, maybe one day, to this is who I am. Let me give you a truth that most people never hear. You're not manifesting money. You're manifesting a self that money is drawn to. That's the real game. And that's where these words come in. There's a phrase, actually, let's call it a code, that flips everything when spoken with truth. And it's not the only one. I'm going to give you more than just one option in this video, because I want this to stick. But first, let's start with the phrase that breaks the cycle. You ready? Here it is. Wealth is my natural state. Let it land. Let it settle in your chest. Wealth is my natural state. It's not forced. It's not something to chase. It's not something you earn through suffering or sacrifice. It's who you are. You don't try to breathe. You don't beg to exist. You just do. And that's how wealth becomes part of your identity. Not as a goal, but as a given. Say it again, gently. Wealth is my natural state. Now feel the difference between this and I want money. And here's another powerful identity shift. I don't chase. I attract wealth effortlessly. Say that out loud. Seriously. I don't chase. I attract wealth effortlessly. Because the moment you stop chasing, you stop pushing money away. Chasing confirms its absence. Attracting confirms your power. And this isn't just a feel-good mantra. It's a total neurological rewiring of your identity. The brain responds to repetition, yes, but even more, to identity alignment. When you say these words with feeling, your subconscious registers them not as fantasy, but as instruction, and your reality begins to shape around them like gravity. Now, do something powerful for yourself. Type one of these phrases in the comments right now. Wealth is my natural state. I don't chase. I attract wealth effortlessly. Just type the one that resonates more. Don't overthink it. This act of declaring anchors the shift. It moves you from passive viewer to active creator. It makes your subconscious take notice. It says, we're not just watching content, we're deciding who we are. That's power. And if one of those phrases lit something up inside you, if something clicked just now, pause and hit subscribe. Not because you should, but because every time you return here, you're reinforcing your new identity. You're surrounding yourself with a mindset that matches your new wealth frequency. You're not subscribing to a channel. You're subscribing to a new version of you. Now let's talk about what's coming next, because this is not just about saying some words and hoping for a miracle. In the next segment, we'll move from knowing the phrase to living it. We'll walk through how to breathe, speak, and carry yourself like someone who already has money. How to use these affirmations in real-world moments, especially when things feel hard. And how to make wealth your baseline, not a breakthrough. But for now, just sit with this one truth. You are not becoming abundant. You're remembering that you already are. So take a breath. Let the old story dissolve. And let the new identity settle. Wealth is your natural state. And you don't chase. You attract. Effortlessly. Segment 3. Embodying the wealth state. Now comes the part most people skip. They say the words, they repeat the affirmations, maybe they write them down, but they don't become them. And that's the missing piece. You can't just say, wealth is my natural state, and then spend the rest of your day stressed, doubting, checking your bank account like it's a threat. Because the universe doesn't respond to words, it responds to states, to what you embody, to what you assume without needing confirmation. So how do you do that? Let me show you. Start simple. Close your eyes and take one breath like someone who already has it. The money, the freedom, the certainty. One breath. Notice how your chest opens differently, how your body loosens. That's the real beginning. Because here's the secret. The way you walk, breathe, and speak, even silently, is always affirming who you think you are. So if you say, I'm abundant, but walk like you're afraid of the world, speak like you're apologizing for existing, and breathe like you're stressed, you're not in the state. You're in resistance. Let's change that. Try this. Next time you wake up, don't check your phone. Instead, say out loud, I don't chase, I attract wealth effortlessly. Then move your body, stretch, walk, or breathe, like someone who knows the day is already working in their favor, even if there's no evidence yet. Especially then. Because assumption isn't reacting to what's real, it's creating what becomes real. Neville said, to assume a new state is to mentally live in it. That means every breath, every glance, every pause during your day. You've got an opportunity to return to the state. Don't force it. Don't fake it. Feel it. Ask yourself, how would I move through this situation if I already knew I was financially free? Let that guide your tone, your posture, your reply to that email. This is the power of identity-based manifestation, because it's not about asking, it's about remembering. Wealth is my natural state. Say it again. And when that old fear voice creeps in, and it will, you don't argue with it. You don't negotiate. You simply return. Return to the feeling. Return to the identity. Return to the truth you've now decided to live from. Let me ask you, when's the last time you looked at your reality and refused to react to it? Because that's real power. When you see a bill, and instead of panicking, you breathe and say, this is the old reality. I've shifted. That's when reality starts to move. This is where it gets real. You've done the affirmations. You've walked like abundance, breathed like a millionaire. You've even smiled at the bill in your inbox and said, this is the old reality. But 3 days pass. No change. The numbers look the same, maybe worse. And the old identity knocks again. See? It didn't work. You were lying to yourself. Go back to wanting. At least that felt honest. This is the test. Not from the universe, not from karma. From you. From the old version of you that's fighting for survival. Because identity doesn't like to die quietly. It wants evidence. It wants proof. It wants now. But here's the truth. The delay you feel is not punishment. It's recalibration. The physical world is always the last to know. It's the echo of a state you've already changed. Think of it like turning a cruise ship. You spin the wheel, but it takes a moment before the vessel actually shifts direction. So, what do you do in that delay? You persist in the state. You keep being, breathing, acting from the new version of yourself, not because it's working in the 3D, but because it's who you are now. This is where most people break the cycle. They return to wanting. They go back to chasing. They re-enter the loop. But not you. Because now you know. If reality hasn't changed yet, it means the old reflection is simply finishing its scene. The new you is already being filmed. That's why your job is not to force the shift, but to hold the state until it becomes your nature. Let's make it practical. Here's what to do when nothing's happening. Take inventory of how you're reacting. Are you checking for proof? Or are you living from the proof already felt? Anchor yourself with identity. Whisper to yourself, wealth is my natural state. I don't chase. I attract wealth effortlessly. Or say, I am not waiting. I've already arrived. Interrupt the urge to check. Stop checking your balance for confirmation. Reality changes faster when you stop staring at the scoreboard and start playing like you've already won. Use repetition as recalibration. Come back to this video, or to your written affirmations, or your morning breathwork. Repetition isn't begging, it's stabilizing. Repetition makes the new identity familiar, and what's familiar becomes dominant. And let me ask you, if someone gave you $1 million right now, would you still doubt your worth? No, because the money would confirm the new identity. But we do it backwards. We wait for the confirmation before we claim the identity. And that's why nothing changes. The law of assumption flips that. You assume, then it confirms. You live from it, then you see it. You feel the end, and reality moves to match it. So today, try this. When something triggers doubt, respond with silence, not panic. In that stillness, return to the feeling of, I am already. And if you really want to solidify this shift, here's something powerful. Subscribe now. Not just because it helps the channel, though it does, thank you, but because every time you come back here, you're wiring your brain to live from the new state. This is no longer a video. It's a ritual. A place where you train your nervous system to expect wealth, not chase it. You're not doing this for motivation. You're doing this to remember who you are. And that's why, in the next segment, we'll go even deeper. We'll talk about saturation, how to become so full of the new identity that doubt literally can't enter anymore. Where you don't just affirm abundance, you radiate it. Where people feel something shift in you before you even say a word. That's what's coming. But for now, remember, if you're in the delay, it means you're close. Don't shift your state to match your circumstances. Let your circumstances rise to meet your state. By now, something in you is different. You've stopped saying, I want. You've stopped chasing. And maybe, for the first time, you've felt what it's like to just be. To assume wealth as your natural state. To breathe like it. To walk like it. To reply to life like someone who already lives in that reality. But now, we take it one level deeper. Because this isn't about just changing your words. It's about changing your baseline frequency. This is what we call saturation. Saturation is when the new identity becomes so dominant in your system that the old thoughts don't even tempt you anymore. It's when wealth is my natural state is no longer an affirmation. It's your default. You don't need to say it. You radiate it. People start treating you differently. Opportunities seem to find you. Money comes in strange, unexpected ways. Not because the world changed, but because you did. Here's how to reach that saturation point. 1. Make the identity your lifestyle. Let your environment reflect your new state. Clean your space like a wealthy person lives there. Dress not to impress, but to express. This is who I am now. Speak about money with calm neutrality, not tension. These small daily cues reinforce the state without effort. 2. Watch what you consume. Your reality is shaped by repetition. So ask yourself, are you surrounding yourself with proof of the old story or with reminders of the new identity? Cut the news cycle that triggers fear. Limit conversations that reinforce lack. Instead, flood your world with voices and visuals that match who you're becoming. 3. Feel first, then act. Before you send the email, before you walk into the room, before you make the decision, pause, breathe, feel the identity. Ask, how would the version of me who already lives in abundance move through this? Then act from that place. You'll be shocked at how quickly life responds. 4. Protect your peace. Like it's gold. Because it is. If something or someone disrupts your state, you don't fight them. You exit the scene emotionally. You return to your center. You protect the frequency like it's sacred, because it is. You are no longer available for energy that contradicts your wealth. Not out of arrogance, but because your state is your currency now. And here's the final truth. You don't manifest money by obsessing over it. You manifest it by becoming the version of you who has no resistance to receiving it. This version of you? They're calm, grounded, clear, open. They don't need to scream to be heard. They don't need to beg to be chosen. They simply assume, and reality listens. Because assumption is not arrogance, it's inner agreement with truth. And the truth is, you were never lacking. You were never separate. You were simply waiting for permission, and now you've given it. Take one more breath with me. Feel the words land again. Wealth is my natural state. I don't chase, I attract wealth effortlessly. I am no longer becoming, I already am. Now imagine watching this video 3 weeks from now, and realizing your life doesn't look the same anymore. That's not just possible. It's inevitable, if you stay in the state. So let this be your moment of decision. You've absorbed the truth. You've seen the pattern. Now, live it. Let's not make this just another video you watched. Let this be the one that changed everything. If that hit home, if you're ready to embody this for real, tap that subscribe button now. Not because I told you to, but because this space will become your daily reminder of who you already are. And the more you return here, the faster your outer world will match your inner identity. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, live from the end, act from the truth, and receive like it's already yours. Because it is. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one.